One of the original East Sides. So anybody try to say East Side, they say I'm the original East Side.
So is Dolomite from 28th Street?
Dolomite? He grew up on 28th Street.
Straight up.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's from Elmwood. His
man.
family's Elmwood. His people's Elmwood. We know about.
But you heard, yeah. What you heard, What you heard, you can hear a motherfucking thing.
We have a huge history when it comes to that shit too, just like you guys too. You know what I'm saying? Because like our family's been here for almost 70 years too. And a lot of people don't like what. 28th Street, you know what I'm saying? Let's speak on
it, bro.
Like,
Talk about
crazy.
it. Talk about it,
my
man.
family, my family's been here for so long. Like on 28th Street and all that shit is like we've been here forever. Yeah. And then like what I know growing up as a kid, like 28th Street was the first gang. Vegas original gang here, because they were just Vegas. You know, they were born on that street. Yeah. You know, there was the Gerson Park as well with them. You know what I'm saying? They had their thing too.
Yeah, man.
But
it was a lot of original gangs out here. There was a lot of original gangs.
Yes.
Like, people don't realize that. I remember like when we used to go to the South, they used to think everybody in Vegas lived in casinos.
Yeah.
They didn't realize how treacherous it was out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, my family's been here like in the 60s too. Like when 28th Street was just like when they were doing landscaping, when Vegas was barely becoming a bigger city, and then you had a lot of the people that lived, like the Hispanic families that lived that worked the casinos. They all migrated. They all lived from 28th Street to Washington Pecos.
Yeah,
that whole area.
And then remember, like I remember way back in the day, my grandpa used to always tell me like the Hispanics and the black people, they didn't even really want us on the strip.
No, of course not.
Like that was like, all off. Yeah, like you could work and take your ass home.
Yeah,
that shit is a cold game, man. Like how that shit goes.
And in my block, it wasn't just Mexicans; there was blacks too. Exactly. And then they were like family to me. I consider them brothers and cousins and uncles. Mm-hmm. So I was going, that's my brother, that's my uncle, that's my cousin. Yeah. And that's how I grew up. You know, and certain people, like when I went to the Penn, this California politics try to come into our system and tell us that you can't do that. Motherfucker, take your ass back over there, because this is how I grew up. Just because y'all don't get along over there, don't fucking tell me you ain't my OG homie.
That always confused me though.
But I still got love for Cali, you know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. But y'all can't bring y'all politics over here and try to switch our shit around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they giving us enemies that we didn't grow up. We grew up with.
And it's facts, bro. Like I done.
It was crazy to me, right? When I went to prison, right? Because first off, I grew up with a lot of these Hispanics, you know what I'm saying? Like these dudes is the homies. Like my best friend named Andres, you know what I mean? He was at Von Tobel with me. This was my partner. This was my nigga. You feel me? And it was like when we got to the joint, they used to tell them that they couldn't deal with us. And in my mind, I used to be like, how can y'all run or be friend the white people when they do y'all like they do us, if not worse?
Right.
Like we can, it'd be me, you, and a white guy. We all have the same robbery with the use of a deadly weapon. Me and you would have 15 years and the white boy have 4 years. I'm like, nigga. And he done slapped the bitch with the gun, sodomized the cat and everything.
Yeah, he's
so this nigga right here.
For real. With a condom or no condom?
Probably.
He impregnated that shit.
There was no time for that shit.
Salute. Yeah, that's some shit though, because
I didn't understand that shit. Like, yo, I'm like, man, I grew up with you. Like, I grew up with you, bro. We went to school together and all that, man. So I never understood that shit, man. I used to be telling them like they treat y'all like they treat us, if not worse. Yeah. I tell people all the time, like Hispanics, they got it like us, if not worse. Nah, I'm for real, man. Like it be all bad, man.
They call the immigration on us. You got your green card. Oh, don't speak Spanish here. You can't speak. Yeah. It's America. I'm like, fuck. Like, I got told. Someone told me to go back to TJ. I'm like, fuck. Like my family's been here longer than you, motherfucker. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, shit. Hey, go to TJ. My great grandpa was in California before it was California. You know what I'm saying? He got me fucked up. You know, like before he became United States. You know,
for real.
We got family that's been like, oh, that's fucked up, because our family's been like circulating from straight Nevada and California for like to the borders of from Mexico. You know what I'm saying? From here to there. And it's
we was on Earth before them.
Yeah,
we don't go all the way there.
Yeah,
That's the whole
exactly.
Like y'all just got to Earth, motherfucker. Like,
we've been here. What you talking about? Like, I'm sitting here driving in a Chrysler 300M, right? You probably stole that shit. I'm at the light.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that was random as fuck, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, for real. I ain't stopped at no lights if I stole it.
And this was in Summerlin, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I understand why this, like, you said, like, you haven't, like, I haven't dealt with no racism until like the early 2000s, and this was Summerlin. Mm-hmm. Dude told me to go back to TJ. You know what I'm saying? He told me like, you probably sold that car. There's no way you can afford that. I'm like, Motherfucker, and I was doing good with my music back then. So what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, I didn't need to tell him what the fuck I was doing, bro. Like, what the fuck, dude? This shit's under my name. What the fuck you talking about? Oh, fuck you. And then you go back to, he started calling me eat tacos. And I was like, damn, bro. He started like everything on the menu. He was enchilada, motherfucking taquito and looking at. So I'm like,
crazy,
beans and shit. Like, your shit's probably about as big as a bean. And I'm like, it probably is. You want to see? You don't like what the fuck?
And it's crazy if you know, right? Because even though they like some people, I ain't gonna say all, but even though some people treat us like that, right? You know what I mean? When they move into our hoods, we treat them with respect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We all just had a white boy move next door. He your brother. Like, what up, man? Come outside, play basketball, all that.
Yeah.
We don't never be like egging their house or you gotta move.
Toilet paper it and shit.
We don't do shit like that. Like we all our people kind of like welcoming. You know, like, man, you over here, what's up? We thugging it. You know what I'm saying?
And you're welcome to the cookout.
Come on through, man. I'm gonna bring you some barbecue. You'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, we killed the pig. You want to come over here and eat a pig?
For
we
real.
the goat. You know what I'm saying? My uncle just killed the goat. Come on through. Oh, okay, cool. I never tried to go. All right, come through.
You
this on Washington Pecos. We're here cooking goats and pigs and all kinds of shit.
And you welcome, man. For real, man. And I also want to mention, man. All right, so when me and fam started this podcast, you know what I'm saying. Once Ben became a part of the Code 7 Army, which has been a great addition, you know. But anyways, like he always brought you up. So I want to give him that credit, you know what I mean, on camera, because I'm not gonna front. Yeah. He threw you in our face all the time. Like, man, you need to check out this guy, you know what I mean? And then we started checking you out, you know what I'm saying? And then we started seeing the history behind it, bro, like an encyclopedia. Once he figure out somebody's on the radar, he gonna go do all the homework on it, man. You know what I'm saying?
And I appreciate that.
That's why we have to have you on here, man. And then we watch y'all TikToks and all that. When I see you showing your personality, you know, because when people see you, they gonna automatically think of gangster.
Oh yeah, listen
you know what
to
I mean?
the music and shit.
They listen to music, they go think of gangster. They don't realize like.
Yeah.
Most of us only gangsters when we have to be. Trust me, we don't want to be.
That's done past. That was the 80s and 90s for me, and a little bit of the early 2000s because it was one of those happy mediums. I had to find a balance. Exactly. Either I'm gonna continue to do this music shit and be a better parent to my kids, or go back to the pen and just see a bunch of dudes, you know what I'm saying, in the pit, like, what the fuck do I want to do? Well, I'm gonna stay here because I like women and I like my family, I like this music shit, so I'm gonna enjoy this shit. So yeah, all day. I'll just keep it 100. So
that's real shit, y'all. That's real motherfucking shit.
I fuck with my family, my career. It doesn't matter what you do. It don't have to be music or art or whatever it is. Like whatever it is you're proceeding, bro. Just focus on that shit because there ain't nothing in that bitch unless you like dick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or ass cheeks, you know what I'm saying? Guys, ass cheeks like that.
Yeah, not normal regular cakes, nigga. Yeah. We talking about buff men nigga cheeks.
For real. Unless you try to get buff. If you want to get buff, that's for real.
Yeah, but overall, bro, like I appreciate. To me, it's an honor all day because it's like this is long overdue. You know what I'm saying? And like he was speaking about earlier, and it's facts because I've never considered myself the best rapper, but I consider myself the best hustler when it came to music.
Yeah, you one of the realest rappers we've ever had come out the city.
And then I'll throw that in there too because like when the shit that I was saying in my music was on some real shit. So and if I'm gonna say some shit, and if I'm saying some shit, it's because I was there, I did it, or I went to the pit for it.
You can read about some of the shit you rapping about in the fucking paper.
Yeah, I was on the news and shit all for all this shit
like,
too.
This
so
nigga, man, like he put his real life on music, and like that's what I love about Vegas. And me and Tizzle was talking about Mozzie yesterday and how we like Mozzie, and Mozzie keep that gutter shit. And I think like the reason why we fuck with Mozzie in Las Vegas a lot because we like real rap. Yeah, we want to hear realistic
not that fairy tale shit.
We want to know that the artist know what he talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's also why we have to give you your motherfucking props too, because you showing your other side too. You showing your family side. You talk about the other side of this shit too. You know, you talk about your family, unity, and you know, just everything real people go through in this motherfucking town.
I'm working like I'm Mexican. I'm working like I'm Mexican. I'm working like I'm Mexican.
I'm one of the original East Sides. So anybody try to say East Side, they say I'm the original East Side.
So is Dolomite from 28th Street?
Dolomite? He grew up on 28th Street. Yes. Yeah, he's from Elmwood. His family's Elmwood. His people's Elmwood. We know about Elmwood. We fuck with Elmwood too.
So we got some real East Sides in the building, man. We had to ask, man.
I don't know if you want to talk about this. If you don't, we can cut it off, whatever, right? But when we talked the other day, you was telling me about the situation with your mom, right?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man. Definitely, man. But you was telling me how the police got on you. They was on you, and they was like, like basically investigating you over that stuff, thinking
even after her death,
even after she dead, thinking that she faked her death.
Yeah.
That's like some Machiavelli type shit.
Yeah.
Do you mind elaborating on that a little bit, or?
All right, my mom passed in 2013. 2013 to 14, around that era. The feds. We got hit by the feds in 2009. When the feds hit us, they were looking for my stepdad. So when they were looking for him, they held her, but then I got her out and she was staying with me. But my mom had a stroke, and she went to the hospital. She got blind from one side of the eye for a tad, and she got better in time. And I took her in. I had to put my music to the side. I stopped all that shit. I stopped doing my music shit. It's like my mom needs me. I had to be there for her. You know what I'm saying? That's just that's what our cultures can relate to when it comes to mom. So fuck this music shit. Dedicate my shit to my mom. So I started dedicating my shit to my mom. I got a job. People are like, what the fuck? You're Mr. Las Vegas. How you got a job? Shut the fuck up. Don't worry about me. Stay in your corner, motherfucker. Let's go over there. You want an autograph? You want a picture? Take it. You want to see me over scrubbing toilets? Take a picture of me over scrubbing toilets. Shit. You don't know what the fuck is going on over here. So, yeah. So, shout out to all the people that ran into me during work hours and shit. Shout out to all y'all. You know what I'm saying? I was very real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, I will never be cocky. I was humble with everybody with that shit. So long story short, my mom was going through that shit. And then they took everything that I had, and I had to like show all my paperwork to the feds. Mm-hmm. So when I started showing all my Tower records, my Universal contracts, everything, I was showing everything to them, right? So I showed it to them. All right, okay, cool. So we're gonna present this to the IRS, see how they feel about it. Like, damn, bro, what the fuck, Wow. So IRS steps in, like, beep, boop, takes everything from me. Now I'm like, of course, now I'm broke again. Now I'm back to like get the job, take care of moms and shit. So I'm taking care of moms. So my mom's is going through some shit. FBI is still coming over looking for my stepdad. They're checking up on my mom. Like, can y'all just leave us the fuck alone? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. So my mom dies. I was doing a music video. Everybody knows this character. His name is Danny Flores. Mm-hmm. So me and him did a song together, and we were shooting a video to it. I got home at 6, almost 7 o'clock in the morning, right after the video shoot. Me and my older sons, we show up. So we get there. So my mom is laying on the floor twitching, just like, oh, fuck, what the fuck, mom? I'm watching my mom die in front of my own eyes. So I call the ambulance, the ambulance comes, detectives comes, all this bullshit. And the FBI comes, this is bullshit. They're coming and they're watching my mom. So I waited for my grandma to come from Mexico so she can also like see her before we decide to disconnect her. Yeah. So me and my brother, like, we made that choice, all right, fuck, let's disconnect her. So I stayed. I watched her, go. So when she was gone, it was just me and her. So when that happened, it was just like to the point where a couple days later, like the feds are still, I'm getting harassed. Like, where's your mom's body at? We went over here. I said, I got it cremated. No, there's no fucking way you could do that. I said, man, ask the people at the cremation. Like, so they're harassing them. They're over fucking with them. And they're like, well, go ask them. It's like, they're all pointing fingers like, dude, what the fuck? If my mom was still alive, and it's been happening over the years, right? And it's been like we're going on almost 9 years now, and they're still like, fuck. This was last year where I haven't heard them this year so far, but last year they were fucking with me about my mom. Like, hey, what's up with your mom? I know she's still alive. Damn. This now, like, dude, like, the fuck, like, dude, like, if my mom was here, let me know. I want to go hug my mom right now. You know what I'm saying? You fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like. But it's understandable because like my mom was involved with some heavy shit with her husband, right. My stepdad. It had nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? That's their shit, and I can admit that shit. Like, I'm not gonna try to be like, yeah, I was El Chapo's son type shit. No, fuck that. I want nothing to do with that shit, bro. Like, fuck no. You know what I'm saying? No. Fuck that. I'm already a felon. They're already on my ass. gang unit's already fucking with me already. Like I want nothing to do with none of this shit. You know, period. You know, so
I don't think people know to depth of what we deal with in Vegas with gang unit.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because people, you know, they think it's just other places that got that gang culture. People don't really believe that Vegas has a gang culture. So, like you saying, gang unit still fucking with you like
9 years later.
Yeah, I remember like even when bro first coming home, like when bro first came home, that was like the time we didn't really have gang unit. Then gang unit had came right back.
Yeah.
And like even just getting pulled over, like it's like, bro, that shit happened 20 years ago.
I was
17,
bro. I was 17. I'm 30 years old, bro. Like, how was you acting at 17?
For real.
That's what I be up wondering with cops. Like, how was you acting at 17? I was 16 when I caught this case. I was 17 when I got called for it. Y'all coming to harass me at 30 years old, bro.
Right, like it's over with. I did my time.
I learned my lesson as soon as I got sentenced. As soon as they told me how much time I had, they could let me go. Right? As soon as they like, you know what, you about to do 8 years, right? If they would have been like 2 days later, like we just playing, go home. I was a changed man. You won. You feel me? I'm a young fly nigga. I'm in here with no money, no pussy. I can't, man. Look, I quit. Y'all won. Y'all better at chess than me. You know what I'm saying?
That's what shit. Cause like when they fuck with you, like they type in your name, it's like, especially when they type in my name, like, oh, your dad, or your uncles, or your cousin. Like I don't care what the fuck they did. What that has to do with me?
Yeah.
And I remember you saying even with your son, like when we was talking that day, you was like even with your son, like y'all in Utah. And they trying to fuck with your sons. You like, bro, we wasn't even. Yeah, we wasn't even in the city.
Yeah. We were out in Utah when this a murder happened. Right, a murder happened in front of my house. Right.
Right.
It had nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got the knuckleheads on the block. You know.
Every reaction.
I don't know if you stole or what the fuck you saying. You got your brains blown out. I'm sorry, but that's your family. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it 100. But when that shit was aimed towards my sons, it hurt me because like fuck, we were over here in Utah when the shit popped off. Like what the fuck, are you kidding me? So I personally went to the gang unit. I said, hey, you better fucking take this shit off, man. This is bullshit.
Right.
And then they came to me and they wanted to swab me up. Well, we found other types of blood. I'm like, they swabbed me up. I'm like, okay, well, shove it up your motherfucking ass, motherfucker. Like, come on.
Ridiculous.
Because you do so much to keep your sons out the life, like you said. You went in at 16, so I'm like coming home. Of course, you trying to keep your kids out the life. You don't want to see your kids go up there. And like you said, even your first time going to prison in the '90s, dealing with prison politics that you didn't have to live with.
Yeah, I didn't want my kids to have to deal with this shit. Like, oh, your dad's this, or you're that, or this. Like, it's fucked up because now you're being segregated, and that's fucked up. No one should have to even deal with that type of shit. You committed your crime, do your fucking time, and that's it. Now you're going in, you got a bunch of motherfucking idiots come from different countries, states, wherever the fuck they coming from, and they trying to be in our backyard, trying to tell us what the fuck to do. No. Yeah. Balance, homie.
I think.
Go ahead. The scariest thing, my fault.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The scariest thing about the system for me is this, right? Because I'm gonna keep it high, man. I'm going through some crazy shit right now. You feel me? But the craziest thing about the system to me is this, right? They look at a piece of paper of everything you've ever done wrong, and they try to judge you off of it. You know? No matter how far away it was, it could be 30 years away, and they judge you off everything you did wrong, but it's nothing on there that you've done right. You know what I mean? How can you get a proper judgment of someone if you only looking at their wrongdoings? You looking at these one moments, because like, let's be real, it's 24 hours in a day, right?
Right.
A crime probably lasts 2 minutes. Whatever you fucking did, it ain't lasting over 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they judging you off of 20 minutes of your life when you didn't live 37, 38 fucking years.
Plus, yeah, exactly. Especially you come out and you're doing good and you're doing some shit, and all of a sudden they expect, okay, I'm still doing that again?
No.
Show me.
Yeah,
no,
for real.
Now everybody's got cameras. There's everybody's got video cameras all around everywhere. So like, the fuck, you know, like, show me.
And I'm a known face.
Yeah.
And I'm a known face.
Yeah.
If I did it, I'm a known face.
Yeah, of course. Y'all well known too. So y'all about to be
It be real fast. It's shit like that. So I think that's like going through prison, gang, like going through all that. I think that's what makes it easier, for, like with your TikTok, to be able to be humorous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've lived a serious life. Like, this is, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I can mock my shit and make fun of my shit.
Yeah, because I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I get motherfuckers every now and then, oh, Vegas ain't it. Oh, Vegas this. Oh, this fool's trying to be like us. Oh, like.
I'm not thinking about it.
And I'm looking at this shit. This dude look like as old as my son. You know, I'm like, motherfucker, how old are you? Like, you were shitting on yourself when I was in the pen. You were like, probably even born, you were swimming your dad's nutsacks.
Right.
Or you're probably pissing in the bed at that time, you know what I'm saying? Like, pissing all over yourself. Like, enjoying that shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. R. Kelly that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for real.
Yeah, fuck it, you know? Like, but the fact is that motherfuckers don't see that shit and it's fucked up. Because, like, you already know how that shit goes. You can sit here and do good all you want. Because I even went to the news. Actually, the news came to me. And the news wanted to know my story. And I gave them my story. And they twist up some shit here and there, whatever the fuck, but that's just what the news does.
Make it entertaining.
So, and they made it entertaining. And then another news outlets came around and did some shit. It was Channel 8, Channel 3, Channel 13, and what's the other fucking news we got out here? 5. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like they made me a mockery on a couple things. I'm like, do y'all think this is a fucking joke? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you hit me up to talk about certain things, and all of a sudden you try to twist it and make me look like I'm the asshole. I'm getting letters shot. I'm getting kites shot from me from the pen, talking about, oh, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. Like,
for real.
It's for the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is for the kids in the community. Oh, your son too. You're like, well, fuck you then. And you don't care about your son, then fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I care about your son. Yeah, right. This is why I'm talking. This is why I'm saying this shit. Because if none of us speak, and then nobody can say shit. You know what I'm saying? Like on the east side, like we didn't have no community centers. We only had Boys and Girls Club right there on 28. But when it came to Washington Pigs, we didn't have shit. You know what I'm saying? Next minute, when I spoke,
oh damn, we didn't.
When I spoke,
juveniles.
yeah, that's it. They walk your ass up in handcuffs over there and shit.
Right.
But next minute, they put this fucking park there with a water park there.
Nice water park.
And like, oh, so y'all taking my misery out of fucking context. Now you're slapping it into my face.
Right.
You named it as someone else when I fucking told you what we needed in my block. This is my hood, and you fucking throw this shit. I was so mad, bro. Mm-hmm. That Carlos Martinez and all that. Who the fuck is Carlos Martinez? He ain't grew up in my fucking block. There's another fucking name that like, well, fuck you. I was so mad, bro. No, like when I was telling, and even when I talked about how can we stop all the gang violence, and then when it came to like graffitis I was like, and I started telling them about let's create an area where we can do graffiti and have graffiti contests. Next minute, Art District pops up. Dude, this shit was in 2000. This was documented in the news. Yeah. In 2005, 2006. Next minute, we got Art District.
They take our ideas.
It's crazy. Like where the fuck am I? Where am I sitting in this bitch? You know what I'm saying? You ask a guy that's from the block and the hood and all this shit from the east side and shit, like I'm nothing. Like I'm a piece of, like I'm just like whatever the fuck. They don't give a fuck what happens to me or whatever. At the end of the day, it's like they need some shit. This is my neighborhood, and you naming it after somebody like a block. This corner, that's bullshit.
I go hard for this. How the fuck you winning if you lost in this? Niggas think they own, so they get off in this. It's easy to get crossed in this. On TOP, we gon' get far from this. Step up in they town and burn it down like